Hello, welcome to the Tim and Jen Show. My name is Tim Ryan, my amazing wife.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Jimenez Ryan.
Wow, we're coming into Tuesday night here, a couple days before Christmas Eve.
Yes.
Wow, it's been a hell of a year.
What a year it's been. First of all, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and in the future, Happy New Year's. This is our last show of the year.
Yeah, we're going to shut down for a couple weeks and take a little downtime.
Yeah, as I was getting ready, I was thinking about what we were going to talk about tonight. And I was thinking about the year. Wow, what a year. And I think everyone can say what a fucking year. Excuse my language. Tim always gets mad at me when I say bad words. I know it's not the best thing to do, but I was thinking what I learned the most, or what was my biggest gift of this year. And honestly, like I know we talk about this, we got COVID. And when we were in that spot, I realized then that having a power greater than me, I call God, and having health is the two most important things for me, because if I'm not healthy and I don't have a higher power, I can't be a wife. Nope. Or I can't be a productive member of society. So babe, what's the best or biggest lessons you've learned this year?
Wow, biggest lessons I've learned is first off, I'm grateful. I've got a relationship with my God, who I call God, Fred, Buddha, Allah, that I'm sober, that I have a 12-step based program. But so many outside variables don't fucking matter, are just fucking irrelevant. People that are irrelevant. What matters to me is my recovery, my relationship with God, you, my wife, my best friend, my parents, your mother, my brother-in-law, my kids. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Outside of,
and our friends that we call family.
And the friends that are family. And yes, I love helping people and doing what we do. But when push comes to shove, when we had COVID, you find out really quick who's in your circle and who's not.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but during that time, like I had such a different outlook on the human, just the kindness of humanity, you know, and like so many people reaching out to us, so many people coming and offering help and stuff. And you restored that for me. And that was like really beautiful to see. And also like knowing, babe, like we lost everything. And like a lot of us, out there have.
So let me redirect the question. What's the biggest learning lesson to you?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of saying it, I guess. The biggest,
I want to have her talk about me.
It is that, like, I have gone through it. I have gone through it especially after post-COVID stuff. I have gone through the ringer with this, and knowing that you've given me the will to keep going, and like just always encouraging me, and like having me find my voice, and just saying, use your voice, speak your truth, and loving me, and knowing that we could do this journey together. It's such a blessing. And I say this, I know a lot of people out there may not have somebody, or are feeling lonely. And, I've been there my whole life. I've been there. And I now have a blessing, and I'm thankful for it. And I'm thankful for my family and my friends. And the fact that I didn't have to use this year or blow my brains out, like, what a miracle. And I know that right now there's a lot of people out there that are sick and suffering. And I want to let you know that we are here for you. And we'll get into that later. But what is really important is our guest.
Yeah. I'm blown away by our guest. He has really become a dear friend of mine. We don't see each other. Sometimes it's only a couple times a year, but we talk on the phone and obviously follow each other on social media. But there's a lot of people in the industry that, think they're recovery rappers or this. Our next guest is a true hip hop artist. One of his videos on YouTube has over 26 million views or downloads. 26 million. I was looking at
artist.
I was looking at an old Go Live today, and I had like 24,000 views, and I was all happy. And I'm looking at his shit and going, Christ, 26 million views. A dear friend of mine, a brother in recovery. Let's bring on Colicchie. Welcome to the show, Colicchie.
How are you?
We are well. How are you?
I am doing excellent today. It is remotely warm here in Pittsburgh. It's still miserable, and we had a huge snowstorm this week. But other than that, I'm fantastic.
And the good thing was you weren't out trying to get in a car, a bus, a train, or walk in that snowstorm to have to get high.
Oh, yeah, that was always the worst. Always the worst.
You know, the drug addicts that live in warm climates don't understand what it's like in a cold climate. And I go back to going down to the L track in Chicago and it's 20 below and waiting for my guy to walk up and just freeze and going, what am I doing here? But that's another day, another topic.
So wait, I'm really excited. Thank you so much for being on our show. I'm so excited to hear you tell your story, talk, and more importantly, like we've been around each other a few times and we've spent hours together. And I think you've said like 3 words, like, yeah. And it's so amazing because I watch you all the time because all you're doing is watching and absorbing and observing everyone and everything. And you're so talented and so shy in real life.
Shy.
You are shy, but so Chaz is your real name, but we'll keep it at Colicchie. You were born in 1983. And then I reflect on that. I was a sophomore in high school. And that was the first year I tried cocaine. And to look at things now, and you got sober, you started getting sober, you know, in the early 20s, attempting to, and like many of us, relapsed a lot and didn't build the foundation. And you ultimately got sober June 7th of 2015, and then have had continuous sobriety since then. But first thing I want to talk about, now you're a guy that didn't have a pot to piss in, homeless, the whole shebang, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, I always say this, but like, thank God I had an enabling mother, because, you know, I would get thrown out, you know, for like 5 to 10 days at a time, but she would like always let me come back. But no, I mean, obviously I ran the streets for years and I would stay at friends' houses whenever. I mean, because that's, you know, my entire life consisted of committing crimes, getting money, and copying. And it was just a cycle. And that's literally all I did for a very, very long time.
So wait, so because you, again, like I was saying, you're so shy, you know, in real life, and yet you're so present when, you know, I've been around you. Yet I've been stalking you, like, so I've been reading up all on you, watching all your videos, doing all this stuff, and that kind of sounds creepy, but I mean it in a good way. Your voice is so strong and so powerful, and your story is so loud and vibrant, you know, when you're rapping and stuff. And I'm like, wow, like you're a poet too. I mean, like you're so creative. Here you are running the streets. How old were you? And then yet you have this talent. And when did you find both? Like when did you find that?
I mean, really, like, you know, kind of how Tim was saying, I've relapsed, you know, over the years, and, you know, would go on these short runs, but like, my main usage, I would say, was probably from like 17 to like late 22. And yeah, I mean, we all know how it is. It was just a torturous existence. It really was a living hell. Every day I wanted to die, you know, and I didn't really start even writing music until the first time I attempted to get clean in 23. And
Wow.
It's real crazy. I mean, the short version is I came home from IOP and was sitting on my mother's couch, and I was watching Music Choice on demand, and a New York rapper came on, and I literally was just sitting there, and I picked up a notebook and a pen, and I just started writing. And it's crazy because, you know, at that time, being introduced to the program, you know, they would instill things like, they would just talk about honesty and about how you know, imperative it is to have in our lives. And I took that, what I learned in the rooms, and I really just applied it to my music from Jump Street, from the gate. Was just, I was going to be as honest as possible, talk about my life, very detailed. I didn't care about how embarrassing it may seem, or you know, how insecure, you know, I would talk about it all. And that's what I really have done from the beginning.
So music became a big part of your medicine and your therapy. And, you know, I've seen music programs and music aspects throughout treatment, and I see people that do it, but, you know, music is a universal language, and people don't understand. Jennifer will walk in, I could be listening to you, I could be listening to Body Count, I could be listening to the Dead Kennedys, or I'm listening to classical music. I absolutely love, or some Hank Williams Jr. I love all genres of music, but it really is just based on what mood you're in and what you're doing. And I think everybody as a kid wants to be a singer or an actor or an actress, but now that you're able to do this, and you've achieved, I mean, in the industry we're in, you're by far the biggest name. There's nobody that comes close to what you're doing.
I mean, I honestly think you're one of the greatest rappers. I really do. Like, I mean, I don't say that lightly. Like, I was blown away by all your songs, like all of them.
Well, and that's what I can remember. We were 3 years ago in Maryland, I think at some recovery festival, and I was speaking and you were doing your music and stuff, but me and you were walking away talking. And at that time I said, you know, you're so much bigger than this recovery space. And I know we're sober and all this, but you have a talent that, I mean, you're right up there, or should be, you know, with an Eminem, a Dr. Dre. That's a talent you have. And I'm not just saying that because you're a guest on our show. And do you see yourself expanding and kind of diversifying outside of the space you're in now? Have you considered getting a record deal? Where are you at with all that?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, I really just take it, you know, day by day. But yeah, I mean, put it this way, I never in a million years thought that I would be where I am with so many different aspects of my life, you know, and to see how much has happened in the last 3 years. I mean, who even knows what 3 more years from now will even look like, you know? Like, the sky really is the limit as long as I continue to stay clean, push myself, work hard, apply self-sacrifice and all that. And I'm willing to do the work. You know, who really knows what's going to happen?
So what does 5 years feel like for you now? Like, how do you feel? I mean, there's a lot that's happened this year.
Yeah, I mean, I feel good. And, you know, anyone that has had numerous relapses and, you know, they'll say, oh, it's different this time. You know, it really is and was different this time. You know, so much has changed, you know, even aside like from my music and all that. Just, I was talking about this with a friend yesterday, but even like my thinking alone has changed so much from when I had a year clean. I think that's what's huge is that just the way I view the world, just the way that I am able to live my life and like have thick skin and like not let certain things get to me, and how I stay focused and I stay motivated, and you know, so many goals in my life that, like I said, that I'm fortunate that I was able to hit, and that, you know, even being like a loving father, you know, it's just something that really just drives me and gives me the motivation on a daily basis. But I mean, I feel amazing most days.
I mean, you wrote a song about your daughter.
Yes.
About being a father. What's that called?
Daughter.
How old is your daughter now?
Like almost 3.5.
And you have 50-50 custody?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, because through social media and stuff, I see all your pictures, and I'm in the same situation with Mackenzie,
I was
my
just gonna say,
5-year-old.
I see so much.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are so similar in that, and the love for your daughters, you know.
I mean, to have a chance at, you know, I'm a little older than you, but to have a chance to have a child that's never seen me drink or use drugs. I've been sober Mackenzie's entire life, and hopefully it'll stay that way, but it's just such a gift. I mean, that's the greatest blessing in the world.
Yeah, I mean, it truly is. And, you know, for people that don't know my story, like I never met my father. When I was 2, you know, my mother basically like gripped me and my sister up, and we left the house we were staying in, and I haven't seen him to this day. You know, he was an active heroin user, you know, so I was like to sit here and say that I'm the complete opposite of my father. I'm very proud to say that. And, you know, as long as I continue to keep doing what I'm doing, you know, I will always be there for her.
So
well, that's a lot. I mean, taking up that responsibility, I'm sure, is something, you know, I can relate to in some ways, like where you probably felt you had to step in as parent role with your mom and your sister, right? As a child.
Yeah, kind of. So like my mother was clean or sober basically my entire upbringing until I was a senior in high school. And then she relapsed, and that's like when like all of our addictions like were full throttle and took off. But I mean, I did what I could before that, as far as, you know, even helping around the house or whatever. But yeah, my mother really raised me the best that she could, and she always had my back, even if it was in an enabling way.
How did it affect you, Chaz, not growing up with a father figure in the house?
You know, I mean, even through all the step work and everything, I mean, it's like, so I don't really know. Like, my mother had boyfriends and stuff like that, or she had one boyfriend for a long time, but I just still never considered him like a father figure. You know, my grandparents lived right down the street. They were nothing but loving and caring, but I still didn't even look at my grandfather as like that father figure. You know, so it definitely took a toll on me, you know, but at the same time, you know, I wasn't really ever like resentful at him, especially later on in life when I started using drugs. I never really was resentful, because I understood how hard it is to deal with the disease of addiction. And I understand that, like, you know, through all the friends that I've lost to overdoses and everything, that people that make it out of this are beyond fortunate, beyond blessed, and beyond lucky. You know, so I never really had like that anger for him, and especially like, he was a stranger to me, so I really couldn't have anger for a stranger either.
Thank you for talking about that, because sometimes we'll swoop in with a question people aren't expecting, but you know, that's what has built you to be the person you are today, to be the pillar of a father, a brother in recovery to all your clan and the people you work with and the people you help and the people you motivate. Because I watch a lot of your pages and your stuff, and I will see the comments that people write. And I mean, you touch people that a lot in ways that a lot of people, you get them to open up. Does that
I mean, you're so raw and real and not just in your music, but your posts. Like, I know that I started again when I was stalking.
Oh, she stalks you all the time. I had to go to bed listening to your rap music.
It was last night. I was reading your tweets and sometimes I was like, wow. And then your Instagrams, and I'm like, holy crap. Like, I mean, I didn't know that side of you, you know, and that you share these experiences. And I think it's so important, because I feel I relate a lot to you, because I learned to stand in my truth, you know, and recovery has taught me how to become a woman. Even though I was doing things as a woman before, like I didn't know how to be a woman, you know, and being a stepmom, like that's a new thing for me, and being a wife, like I've never been one. So recovery's, you know, and therapy and my sponsor and women in recovery have really taught me a lot. And then here you are being a dad, and completely polar opposite of what your dad was like, you know, and having to learn that. Like, who are your inspirations? Like, who have been your mentors?
Ooh. Oh, I mean, really, a lot of it's just trial and error. I mean, I'm literally learning every single day. Every single day, I'm learning something new as far as raising my daughter. But I mean, really, it's just even the predecessors that came before me. You know, any problem I've ever had, or anything I wanted to figure out, whether it was opening up a bank account or if it was how to pay a bill, you know, I've learned through people that have done it before me, you know, basically in the fellowship. You know, there's solutions to all my problems. I just got to be willing enough. I have to be, you know, willing enough to ask for help.
So look at where, for the people that are watching this on social media, where are you sitting right now?
I'm sitting literally in front of my kitchen, pretty much. Like, this is my kitchen.
But where is this?
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
But where? In the house you just purchased?
Yeah, in the home I just purchased. It's mind blowing. I mean, it really is. And you know, I was unemployable for years, and I'm not exaggerating when I say I used to go months without $1 in my pocket. And whenever I would get money in my pocket, I mean, it went directly to drugs. Aside from that, and you know, to be able to buy a home, you know, with no help or nothing, you know, just I mean, it's surreal. I still think someone's going to knock on the door and tell me to leave. You know?
Excuse me, you moved into the wrong house, son. But you know what? Those are the promises, and people that have not walked down a 12-step based program, the promises are what they talk about once you've, you know, doing step 9 and on and working through the steps and helping other people, they come true. And believe me, the three of us are all living examples of the promises. But a huge shout out to you. I mean, just from where you've come in the past 3 years to where you are now. I mean, it's pretty fucking badass. And I want to flip to, we've done a number of events together, but one of the ones we did was a couple years ago. I think we're in Kansas City. We were at the Oxford House World Convention. Now you're talking, there was 2,000 plus people at this event. It was a massive event. And I was one of the keynote speakers, and Colicchie spoke, but then did music. But I got to tell you, that was right when my documentary Dope Man had come out. My book had come out. You know, I'm kind of riding this high, and I'd have people coming up to me and wanting a picture and autograph. But then Colicchie, I'd have 4 people in line. He'd have 400. I mean, and we've talked about this off the record. Look at him smiling. It gets overwhelming, though, at times. But you take the time to talk to everyone, to sign an autograph, to take a picture, to treat them like a human being. And that's one thing I really respect about you is I've seen people that get really cocky and they blow people off. And you'll sit there until 2 a.m. saying hi to people until you speak to the last person. Not many people are willing to do that.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's just, I don't know. I mean, it's as introvert as I am, and as much as I'm like a don't look at me type of person, you know, it's really is an honor, you know, the fact that, you know, my music even can touch one person, let alone so many. So, I mean, I'm always open to meeting with people and hearing about the positive way that my music may have changed their lives, you know?
Does that, how did you find boundaries with that, with your success versus who you are personally?
I mean, I don't really know how to say that. Well, for one, like I used to have my number like on, like, you know, on the internet, and like, it just got so insane that like I had to take it off. But I mean, I guess I apply boundaries just by, you know, there's a time for it. And then there's a time, you know, where, you know, my daughter will get all my attention or my work will get all my attention. And I mean, it's hard to balance anything in life, but I try my hardest.
So, okay. So I'm sorry, I got to take you back a little bit because I'm actually intrigued by this. So here you are, you're watching music channel, I think you said, and you're writing down lyrics. And then how did you figure out like how to rap? Because I mean, I could write some things, but I can't like.
It's funny because I've tried to rap. I've tried to rap for 25 years, and I can get on my feet and barefoot water ski. I'm really fucking good at that. But rapping, no, I'm the worst singer, rapper, dancer in the world.
I'm trying to make him dance like in his own skin, like be comfortable, and he does a car.
That's all he
does.
I have no rhythm. I have no beat. But did you know you could?
Wait, how did you
sing? And
how did you start the rap? Like, I mean, how did that?
I mean, this is really how it was. Is I started writing, and then I think I wrote like maybe like a couple songs, and you know, I remember like, so I didn't have anyone in my life as far as influences. I didn't hang out with rappers. I didn't know rappers. I didn't know anything about none of it. Like this was all blind. This was all just me just taking a risk. I picked out a studio in the Yellow Pages called ID Labs at the time, you know, and I literally just made a phone call, and then I went there, and then I ended up going there for a decade. And it really was everything I've learned in music within reason was self-taught, especially in the beginning. Because I would go there, it would just be me and the engineer, and I would just constantly just try different things. And you know, I didn't even really know if I had rhythm. I didn't even really know if I could do it or make it sound good. Like my first album to me was written beautifully, but like the delivery and all that is just it makes me cringe. Like but it was just a learning, like just constantly trying new things, constantly, you know, trying to find my voice on on how to deliver the words, you know, finding how many syllables I can fit into a bar without it being overcrowded. I mean, I'm still learning how to.
Like you were so into it right now, right? Like I can see you, like, yeah.
I mean, even recently, like trying to step out and trying to do like harmonies and melodies and all that, like, and trying to find my voice and sing on key. I mean, I'm still learning, but it's an amazing challenge, and I love everything about it. And it really is it's given me freedom from self in a way that, is priceless, honestly.
So do you do your own, I'm sorry, I'm so bad with this kind of wording, but do you do your own music? Like, do you cut all that? Like, do you figure out, like, in your head, are you hearing the beats?
I mean, yes, kind of. So, I mean, I've orchestrated with help a lot of my beats, but a lot of other ones I didn't. I just have gotten from friends or different producers. That has varied a lot. But even as far as like recording myself lately, like the last year or so, like I recorded some songs with KC in Connecticut, but then all my other songs, I literally have done it in my basement. I record myself, and then I will send them to somebody to get mixed and mastered. But
So you put the words on paper first.
yes.
Then you get in your little home studio and belt it out however you want. Then you put have the music put together for it.
Well, no, I mean, so I have to do it over the music to have the right tempo. I mean, I'm always changing things though, or maybe changing instruments or something like that. But no, I mean, a lot of times though too, a beat will talk to me, meaning like my song will write itself because the beat is sad or the beat is happy, or I love the piano in the song, so it's making me feel this way. So basically forced to write this way.
Do you play any musical instruments?
I don't. I played bass guitar when I was real young, but like other than that, no. I wish I would have learned piano at a young age. That's something I want my daughter to learn, is piano.
Well, there you go. Get her a piano.
So why Colicchie?
Yeah, where did Colicchie come from?
It was actually my grandmother's maiden name. And so like right before I started recording music, I was in Florida with my friends. It was probably my first sober vacation ever. And we were just down there, and we were sitting on the beach, and I looked over at my sister and I was like, I think I'm going to go with Colicchie for my rap name. And she's like, I like it, you should. And I've always had it, fast forward, my grandparents were, a huge part of my life. They died after 65 years of marriage. They died 19 days apart in the same month. That's actually where the name of my last album came from. 19 Days Apart was from, my grandmother having a tragic car accident, and then my grandfather quickly dying after that from getting sick. And, today it's like my grandmother was the most loving, caring, selfless person I've ever met in my entire life. So I almost like to think that, that she's constantly with me, and, and she's a big part of my music, and that her spirit's watching over me. So the name has more meaning to me now, like, than it ever has.
Wow. I love your hearing you talk about the women in your life, and how much you love them, all the ladies, including your daughter, obviously. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, it's really, it gets me a little emotional to see you talk about them, in this conversation that we've had right now. What were you whispering right now that you wanted me to ask?
You wanted earlier, when we were talking prior to having him on, you wanted to know about the words of his songs and what really drives them.
Oh yeah. I mean, some of your songs, obviously they're your experiences, but like, where does all the other stuff come from? Is it the things that you've heard or seen or know?
I'm trying to think. I mean, I would say like 90% of my music is personal experience, but then I do have other songs like, like The Desolate one, or like Here Tonight, where they're like detailed stories that obviously aren't my life. I guess imagination, it's almost like I can only write about my life so much. I can only write about my feelings so much, where I get other ideas as far as, maybe I want to write about a story, an imaginative story about some guy. I mean, about anything else other than really what I usually write about.
When did you do Been Through Hell?
Probably 8 years ago. Maybe.
Is that 8 years ago?
I think so, yeah.
Wow. I love that song.
Thank you.
I
It's
really
really good.
love
It's
that,
amazing.
and I love that it was shot in Florida and all that. But you were rocking a good tan too. Now I see why the last time we saw you in Florida, you were just trying to become a rock lobster.
That's right.
Yeah.
So what made you stay in recovery? And I get this, I mean, not recovery like being sober, but like in this space and like kind of, you know, working with other addicts and speaking, you know, singing about, rapping about this and, you know,
sharing your story, because you
story.
travel the country speaking and doing your hip hop.
Yeah, I mean, like I get that question asked to me, you know, well, why are, you know, what about from acting to this? And I'm like, well, I'm still acting, but it's still, my passion is this, you know, and what is it for you?
I mean, you know, it really is a passion, you know, because I mean, for so many years, you know, I really did think I was going to die from using drugs. I really did think that I was going to die at an early age, you know, from an overdose or something like that. And you know, even my first like, you know, minuscule attempts at getting clean, you know, I would go to meetings and I would see people and they would be happy, and I couldn't fathom that they're not using. I couldn't believe that they really stopped using, lost the desire to use, and, you know, found a new way to live. I didn't think it was possible for me. You know, now that I know that it's truly possible for me, and when I say that, like, I came from like the bottom, I mean like mentally and emotionally, like I came from the bottom, and I hated myself so bad. I was completely covered in self-loathing and lack confidence, absolutely no self-esteem. I mean, this is the way I viewed myself, you know, and to be a complete 180 from where I once came from, you know, I just want to let other people know that, you know, that hope really does exist. And as long as I'm just willing to do just the littlest amount of work and you know, and stop using and really surrender and just give myself a chance, that, you know, the possibilities will blow your mind. They will just blow somebody's mind if they just take advice, suggestions, and directions from someone else that has been there.
Yeah.
Get out of your own friggin' way.
I mean, like, I'll be honest, like in January, I'll have 15 years. And for me, like, there are a lot of just yesterdays put together. It's not like, oh, I'm an old timer. Like, it's like, I'm just like, okay, today is a new experience. It's a new day for me. I've never been sober on this day or on this date. So I know how to self-sabotage and hurt and, like, you know, low self-esteem, all that much better than I do of like positivity and self-worth and esteemable actions. And that's a constant, like, it's a daily reprieve for me. For you, what were some of your things that you could like share with us that like help you with your self-esteem and self-worth, especially being a man, like so different than for me?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of touched on this the other night too, about how, like, you know, obviously, like, it's said in our literature about how, like, I can't think my way into, you know, like, better living, but like I can like live my way into better thinking. And like, as long as I'm like attempting to do the next right thing, it will eventually have like a positive, you know, effect on my thinking. And I don't know, a lot of things that I've done, it really was just time, and it was practice, and it was just, you know, trial and error. And it was just, you know, it was all the things the program suggests of, whether it was prayer or staying connected to my, you know, support group. You know, the more I lived in recovery, it really did have, you know, it completely changed the way that I see myself. It completely changed the way that I viewed everything. And it just a lot, a lot of practice. And like, as far as like the negativity and all that, like, I really can honestly say, like, on most moments throughout my day, that like I am a positive person, and like I don't worry, and I don't, like, I might get like a moment of concern or something like that, but that's it. Like, I bounce back as fast as possible, you know. And what brings me grounded too is how you guys were talking in the beginning about gratitude. Like, I am filled with gratitude on a daily basis. It doesn't matter what's going on in my life. It could be chaotic. It could be just, you know, it could be moving at like 100 miles an hour, but like, I am tremendously grateful for where I am in my life today. And I know, because I know that it can be stripped away with just one bad decision, kind of how I talk about, you know, in my song. Because you know, I've had a year clean, 3.5 years clean, 2.5 years clean, a year clean, you know, and now I have now I have over 5 years clean, you know. So I know what it's like to self-sabotage. I know what it's like to encounter these new feelings that I think to myself that I'll never be able to get through clean, and just throw it all away. And, and today I feel stronger than ever. And I'm not saying I'm exempt from using, but like, I just don't see myself throwing this life away because of over a feeling. I just don't.
So in your career, say the past 5 years, doing what you do, what has been one of the coolest things you've been able to do that you really, that you're like, wow, that was badass?
I mean, so many different things. Really, just a consolidation of literally traveling the country and just meeting so many different people, like meeting people that I've talked online with, people that have messaged me, hearing all the stories about how my music, has truly has helped save their lives. Like, meeting people that have came from nothing and now they have this beautiful life again and they got their family back. And that stuff, it gives me chills when I think about it. And that's probably been the biggest blessing as far as my music, is just meeting people from all different walks of life and how it has affected them in a positive manner.
And I think it's a lot of those variables. You get that. Jennifer gets all these messages from, I saw you on Sober House or Celebrity Rehab or Beverly Hills Housewives or in this movie, and I saw you speak here, and she still gets messages constantly. And I had a guy message me a few days ago that he read my book in rehab and how that was one of the catalysts, and he's now like 40 days sober. So he was messaging me. I said, why don't you just call me? And the guy's like, I can't believe you gave me your phone number. I'm like, I give my phone number to anyone. I'm an open book. But he was just grateful for that 10 minutes on the phone. I said, look, got a sponsor? No, get your ass to a meeting, find the meanest person there with the longest amount of time and ask him to be your sponsor. And I said, I'll take your call anytime, but I won't co-sign any of your bullshit.
But that's how you are. I'm like, I'm in awe of that. I'm like, wow, you give everybody and anybody your number? Like, it's shocking to me. I love how you're talking about that though, because for me, like when I speak or I've, or people have reached out, to know, like when I see that glimpse, that little flicker in their eye, of like some kind of hope from like, just like playing, almost dead to like that blink. And you're like, oh, wow. Or that reaction or that, they're either crying, laughing, going, this one was crazy, like some kind of feeling from them. I'm like, okay, there's hope. There's hope. And that for me is the reason why I do what I do. Like that gives me all the life and all the breath I need, oxygen I need. Like, it's amazing to see that and to hear you say that. When I hear you're like single.
Are you single?
Sorry, I totally jumped the thing. I have to. I know everyone needs to know.
Colicchie is single.
So I mean, like, okay, there's a pandemic.
For a long time.
There's a pandemic happening.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there that are not in a relationship, and you're single. And what's that like for you this year? How has that been? Like, do you not want to be in a relationship? Do you choose not to?
Honestly, I like being alone. Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah. Are you like looking to be? Are you like ready to mingle? Or
we're not like that.
Know,
his relationship is recovery, God, his music, his daughter,
boys,
his
friends,
new home, his guys, his work.
I've like conversed with females and everything, but as far as like a serious relationship, really my daughter takes up all my time, and really like she like even fills that spiritual void, I guess you could say, of not having a partner. So in the future I'm sure I will, but right now it's just not really important.
Okay. Well, I had to ask for the ladies out there that are listening. And I've had to, in times in my recovery pre-Tim, like I'd be like in a relationship out, I'd be saying to my sponsor, like, I think it's time to date. She's like, really? Like, what do you want a guy to do? And I'd be like, oh, well, take me out to eat, do this, buy me flowers. She's like, great. So you're going to date God. And that's what you're going to do for yourself. And I'm like, what? And I would do it for like a year.
Go date
6
yourself.
months. Yeah, I would date myself. So sometimes I'm like, babe, I'm going on a date. And he's like, okay, have fun. It's my walks, and I love to walk. But sometimes
go on a date. Yay.
Pre him, it'd be like going out to a restaurant. Clearly we can't do any of that stuff now. But, I think think it's important for people to learn to be comfortable with themselves. And like, you are one that is talking that right now. And it's awesome to hear that. Have you been writing a lot during this COVID?
I have been, yeah. I mean, I've had numerous things been going on the last 9 months, but yeah, I've been writing a lot too. You know, it's just trying to stay inspired and just constantly, you know, balance everything that I have in my life. Some days it's tough, some days it's hard, but you know, I try to focus my attention on everything, especially when I'm needed. But yeah, I've been writing a decent amount.
So prior to COVID, I mean, I know you've done a bunch with, you've went on tour with B Rain and Casey Makes Music and Joan Nestor, and you guys all collaborate. Do you like doing that more, or do you like doing your own thing more? I mean, I know it's cool to be with other people, but
I mean, I like doing them both. Like, you know, I was thinking about that the other day. I love traveling with them because, you know, we're all cut ups and we have fun, you know. But I was thinking about it the other day about how, you know, I traveled so many places, you know, in the last couple of years, and did that all like completely by myself. Like, I would just like hop on a plane at midnight and fly to like Regina, Saskatchewan in Canada, and like sleep on some dude's couch and like wake up and then like do a show that night and then just like fly home. Like, I mean, like just like insane stuff. Like, you know, just and doing it like just completely like meaning like physically like just doing all of that alone. And for someone that doesn't really like to like talk to new people or whatever you can say, like, you know, I just would always just push myself. I would just push myself regardless of how I was feeling. And that's one thing too that just blows my mind. To just be able to do that, to just physically be alone and just travel the country and just go and just do what I'm supposed to do, and then, you know, on to the next one.
you know, and the interesting thing is, and Jenn did that for years by herself, and I did it obviously. And people are like, oh, you got such a great life, you get to travel and go here. Yeah, that's cool, but it's also a lot of work. Being alone, flying in late and realizing the only place open is McDonald's or the hotel that you're trying to get a candy bar and a bag of chips, and you got to be out the door at 6 a.m, and you're away from your kids and everything else. It has its upside, but you got to be solid and firm to be able to do this, because I've seen so many people implode and whatever. And of course, I don't want anything to, you know, I don't get involved with that, but it takes a toll on you, and it's hard finding that balance.
Well, that's why I asked you about the balance earlier. Like, how do you balance all this and everything else that you're doing? Like, I had to stop because I had to kind of really slow down, especially, you know, this year we were forced to stop, but I felt like there is a part of me, and I've been very honest about it, where I was just going, and I wasn't in the moment, you know, and there's so much chaos happening that like, I really, a couple of times I'm like, just tell me I'm gonna be okay, right? Like, I just need people to let me know that, because if I'm pulled this way and pulled that way and doing all this stuff, like, and then the chaos, it's a lot.
And you're spinning, you're a damn dog chasing its tail until, like, my brother-in-law was talking to Jenn and I, and he said, you two need to time block. Set an hour or 2 hours of this time your phones are away, so you can lay out your plan, work on this, do what you need to do, and accomplish a task, because there's 38 other things we need to do. And, you know, it's piece by piece. There's so many moving pieces. You got to have the balance. And I'm going back to what you asked me earlier. One of the best things I started doing this year too was seeing an outside therapist. Absolutely changed every perspective in my life. Best thing I ever did.
Yeah, my sponsor has always suggested it to me. I just, once again, it's just something I never got to. But
well, I've got a great one for you.
I mean, I'm grateful too to like this year, like, yeah, to slow down. You know, I feel guilty almost saying this, but I mean, 2020 has been an absolutely amazing year for me. And just to really, I don't know, maybe this was the year too where I got to like actually just enjoy it, you know, and not be traveling so much and you know, and staying in Pittsburgh and really just even just working on myself. You know, I was like a huge meeting maker still, even with 5 years clean, you know, for months our meetings were closed. Like I tried the Zoom thing, I just really couldn't get into it. So it really made me become way more dependent on God and my support group, and that's where I got all my strength from. And it was just like, it was a new area of recovery for not only just me, for everyone, because we've never experienced anything like this. No one has. So it was new to everyone, but, just really staying grounded no matter what, and not letting the negative thoughts get to me, and then just, staying clean above everything.
So why the shyness?
I've just
The introvert.
I've always been shy. I've always been shy.
Why do you not like talking to me? No, I'm just kidding.
I'm putting a hat on. I'm trying to be like Colicchie here. But I know why he wears a hat, because he'll normally tip it down and he can hide on it.
Well, he did it a couple times while he was talking. I saw that.
Yeah.
Jazz, this is the best conversation we've had in a long time.
No, but honestly, like, I feel like, okay, so I was going to say this, going back to what I started with earlier before we introduced you, is that there's the statistics came out that there's 81,000 people that died for opiate overdoses this year alone, right? And it's more than ever before. And then that's not even like alcohol, meth, coke, I mean, all that, benzos, all that stuff. Like, people are drastically relapsing and dying like there's never before, committing suicide like never before. And the government's not really helping us, right? So it's people like you, and me, that like, it's in our friends that do what we do, that are really like kind of like we have to do the work for we have to be the ones that keep speaking and keep speaking up and keep speaking out and keep like, encouraging people out there to not give up on themselves, and it's like my duty, I feel like, and I'm sure you feel that as well. And like, the more you put out albums, the more people relate and the more people feel hope, like they feel hopeful, like, and that has been something that's been lacking in this universe, and if anything, with what my statement was right now is, when is your next album coming out?
My probably next full album, I would love to say within 4 months.
Huge.
Wow. Well, we need a single, because like, people just need to keep hearing you, because you are magical. You are speaking our language, and especially out there for those that are suffering, like I know that they could, I was trying to be like, if I was out there using right now, like, would I connect when I'm sober, listening to you as a sober woman, but like, as someone out there using as well, like, you just inspire.
No, I mean, it's I'll go back to when I was in active addiction, when Nikki Sixx's band 6 a.m. came out, and the Heroin Diaries book, and I'm listening to that. I remember going to Oak Brook, Illinois to a signing, and Nikki Sixx is there, and I got 4 loaded rigs of heroin in the car. And I'm like, I'm going to ask him to be my sponsor. And I'm like, hold on, what am I thinking? But, instead of saying, hey, I'm struggling, yeah, okay, here, sign this, I'm gone. But it was his music that motivated me, and I still listen to it this day. Music is a huge motivator and inspiration, just like you are, Colicchie. Are you an energy drink? Do you drink energy drinks?
Do I drink? Oh, yes, I do.
Have you ever drank Clean Cause energy drinks?
I may have tried them. I forget what city I was in, but I believe I've tried them.
So Clean Cause is one of our sponsors for the show, but they're based in Austin, Texas. 50% of their profits go to putting people into sober living. And Wes Hurt, the founder, texted me. He's like, dude, I love Colicchie.
Yeah.
He wants us to send you a care package. So afterwards, I'll get on the line and we're going to send you a bunch of Clean Cause swag, hats, hoodies. And
I think I was in Austin on tour. And now that you say that, I remember the venue we were at. I think that's where I was in Austin.
Where is the coolest place you've done an event at, you think? What was the coolest place you did an event at?
The coolest place I've done an event, I'll tell you the coolest place that I've traveled to, even though I didn't do a show. I really, really loved New Orleans, and Bourbon Street and all that. I was there at like 10 in the morning on tour. We stopped there. And I don't know, it was just something about it was just really, I can't even describe it in words. But that was the coolest place I believe I've been to. But best place I've ever did, I don't know, honestly. Probably maybe in Dallas, or even I mean, I really even liked the Royal Convention. That was dope too.
That was pretty dope.
Where was that?
That was in Kansas City, Missouri. And I mean, they treat the Oxford houses, they treated us very well. It was thousands of people high on sobriety and life. It was just the energy from the crowd too. And boy, could you fucking get them going too. I mean, I could get up and share a story, but you could get the house bouncing. Good thing you went to New Orleans clean and sober. Tell me you ate some of the Cajun food. I lived in Louisiana for a couple of years, and the food down there is off the chain.
Yeah, I ate some of that, and yeah, we were only there for a couple hours, but yeah, I loved it.
Gotta love it. How can people follow you? What's the best way for if somebody wants to book you for an event, they want to follow you on social media, they want to follow your music? How can people do that?
I mean, as far as speaking to me directly, definitely Facebook or Instagram, because I answer all them messages. Obviously, you can follow me on YouTube or even email me or whatever. But yeah, I mean, or even just Google my name and
Colicchie, how do you spell it?
Colicchie.
You know, I still have problems. Thanks God, when I go to Google or YouTube, I'll type in CO and Colicchie will pop up.
It's the most misspelled rap name of all time. Probably.
But it's a badass name.
So what's next for you?
Oh, I mean, really, I'll know more of that once like this even like all dies down. Like, you know, we just got another like remote lockdown. I'm sure it's bad out there, but you know, they closed a lot of things till January 3rd. They're saying January 3rd, but I'm sure it's going to be March. But I don't know. I'm really just focusing on, you know, my music and spending time with my daughter and enjoying my new home and really just taking it easy for right now.
Are you at home teacher for your daughter too? When she's
she hasn't started school yet. No.
Okay. Oh no, 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah.
Lucky. Anything else you want to share out there? Do you want to spit some bars? Are you capable of doing that?
He's been wanting me to ask you that. I'm like, I don't want to put him under pressure.
I do.
And then he's like, he could do
I do. Let's go. Come on. You can spit something.
You don't
have. I mean, I'm all right now. I don't really feel like it, but thank you.
Chaz.
He'll come back and he'll do it.
You know what I'm going to do? When everyone is finished in the bottom comments, I will have Chaz's personal cell phone. So I want you to give him a call and say hello.
Don't listen to him.
I won't do that.
You can. That's fine.
No, I wouldn't do that to you. How's work life going well? You got some cool things on the horizon with that?
Yeah, it is. You know, staying busy with that too. And I mean, I swear, even like during these times, I mean, it's weird. You meet people that are willing to get help, and then you meet people that it's like pulling teeth. You know what I mean? I've conversed with so many people where like their lives were like seriously falling apart, and you know, it's everybody else's fault. They had every excuse in the book. It's not the drugs and alcohol. There's no way it could be the drugs and alcohol. And it's just some people when they're like, I've always said like I've always said it, but like denial is such a powerful drug. There's people that just get into denial and they'll just hold on to it, and they'll just be seriously like on the verge of death, and they'll do anything other than address the problem and get help.
Isn't it? It's scary too. And you know, we've got to the point to where, you know, someone will call and hey, if you want it, I'll guide and direct you. If not, I'm moving on, because there's other people that want to help. And you know, the nice thing is we don't work for a treatment center. You know, we still run a Manna Recovery Foundation. We speak, we do interventions. So we're able to give people more options and say, you know, here's 5 places. And a lot of people are state insurance or no insurance, but it's the entitlement with some of these people.
I'm really glad you figured that out. I mean, like when I 5 years sober, like I was doing the sober houses and sober rehabs, and like literally my whole theory was still then that I needed to save everybody, right? Like, and so I was like, I remember Andy Dick one time on Sober House called me Captain Save-A-Ho, right? Like, cause I was just like flying around trying to save everyone. Like, you can't do that, right? And it's so great that you know that, you know, and that you figured that one out so soon, because like, we can't save anyone. And like my now, like my threshold is very short. Like if you want the help, here are the answers. Like I don't want to hear the long-winded like story. Here's the solution. Solutions, because that's what they did to me. You know, they gave me the solution. That's it. My sponsor gave me like 1 minute to complain and 3 minutes of solution, or longer, right? 7 hours at times of solution. But you know, I had to do the work, and I continuously have to do the work. And there is answers. There is hope. There is a greater way of living.
Yeah. And you know, Chaz, Colicchie, you are an inspiration to more people than you'll ever know. Your music's heard worldwide, and bless you, honey. And you're constantly touching people on a daily basis, and that's a gift God gave you. And I'm grateful he did. I'm grateful he put you in my life and Jennifer's life. I love you like a brother, and you know, we're always there for you, and we always support you. And if you have not heard Colicchie, followed him, please do. His music will absolutely rock you. I do want to say, for the people that are listening, we're a couple days away from Christmas Eve. If you're struggling, you know, you can follow Colicchie. You can follow us at dopetohope.com. And if you need help, you can call us at 844-611-4673.
Wait, hold on. I just want to say something.
I wasn't wrapping
I know.
up yet.
Well, it sounded like you were.
I just got to throw my plugs in.
I just think it's really important. I want to thank you for using your voice, for finding your voice, for using your voice, not only in your music, but speaking everywhere and speaking out on behalf of addicts and alcoholics like us. You know, I hope that you just keep using your voice louder and louder and louder. I mean, it's beautiful. It's strong. It's amazing. And, you know, we need more people like you out there.
Yeah, you're a vessel, and God chose your vessel to do what you do. And man, I'm grateful that you got sober. I love watching you interact with your beautiful daughter, who looks up to you as her fucking hero, as I know mine does. Man, that got me there. But you're doing the deal, and I fucking love you, and keep doing it. And is that it? Any last words, Colicchie?
No, I mean, just like, yeah, I know the holidays are hard for everyone, you know, whether you have a year clean or you have 20, you know, so try and stay around positive people, you know, and stay around people you trust, and avoid negativity at all costs. And, you know, just hold on. Like, I can't tell you how many days, like, my only solution was to just hold on, especially in early recovery. You know, and I promise you that better days are coming. You know, everything will eventually pass. And, you know, that alone has really been something that I've stuck with, you know, for years. You know, that's why I don't like I said prior, how I don't really stay concerned about certain things, because I know that I'm not always going to feel like this. Any feeling I encounter, good, bad, or indifferent, I'm going to feel different tomorrow. So I just have to ride it out, you know, and there's no reason to get all flustered or depressed during the holidays, because better days are coming.
Amen.
Feelings aren't facts. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I would really hope that you would come back on our show. I won't be so like,
Of
oh my
course.
God, I watched you everywhere. In the next couple of months, it'd be great to have you on.
Yeah. Colicchie, Chaz, my brother, we love you.
We love you
want to
so
thank
much.
you for coming on the Tim and Jen
Thank
show.
you.
We want to thank Lux Media
Yes,
for
Chelsea,
giving us
Trinity,
this platform, Candace. And have an amazing holiday, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Tim and Jen, we love you. Tune in.
Thanks, you guys.
We want to talk to you about Clean Cause, better caffeine. What's in the can? Our organic, sparkling Herba Mate is a premium pick-me-up that won't let you down. Every can of Clean Cause contains 160 milligrams of better caffeine, and each sip supports recovery from alcohol and drug addiction. 50% of the profits go to assist people into sober living. Check out cleancause.com.
Seaside Palm Beach is an executive luxury addiction treatment center located in Palm Beach, Florida. Our private clients come from all over the world, including business executives, professional athletes, celebrities, and more. Seaside Palm Beach offers first-class amenities and high-end accommodations, including a gourmet culinary experience, ocean views, pet-friendly facilities, and access to cell phones and laptops during your stay. If you or a loved one are struggling with addiction, please call us at 877-959-5053. Again, that number is 877-959-5053.
Hope. At Rosecrans, it's more than a wish. Hope has power. As the proven behavioral health leader in the Midwest, no other program offers our depth of experience and hope here at Rosecrans. And when someone you love struggles with substance abuse and mental illness, hope plays an important part in recovery. Life's got bigger plans for you. We should know. We're the most trusted name in treatment and the best choice for those who dare to hope. Visit us at rosecrans.org. Life's waiting.
Now, glutathione is a big word, but it's the body's own master antioxidant. So it's a scavenger for free radicals, for bacteria, and what's relevant now, viruses. This is new to the marketplace. There's no other product on the market that has the ingredient NACET.
And basically NACET increases the production of that glutathione that is in our body already to strengthen and enhance our immune system and keep it strong. Elevated sense of well-being. Supports muscle strength and endurance. Cognitive function. Powerful liver support. Energy. Helps blood sugar regulation. Superior bioavailability of key ingredients.
One of your best defenses against COVID is a strong immune system. Taking GSH Plus as a daily supplement does all that. And now we have the product out on the marketplace.